Today's lesson is on estimating irrational numbers. Recall what the real number system is. Remember, real numbers include rational and irrational numbers. A rational number is any number that can be written as a fraction. Rational numbers include integers, whole numbers, and natural numbers. Recall that natural numbers are your counting numbers, 1, 2, 3, and so forth. Whole numbers are 0 and your natural counting numbers. Integers are the whole numbers and their opposites. For example, -1, -2, -3, and -4. And then again, rational numbers are any numbers that can be written as a fraction. Irrational numbers are numbers that cannot be written as a fraction. Examples of those are non-terminating, non-repeating decimals, imperfect squares and imperfect cubes, and pi. Let's explore further. So to be rational, it is any non-zero number that can be written as a quotient of two integers, which is a fraction. Examples of rational numbers are 2, the negative square root of 9, which would be -3, 1/2, and 75/100. Irrational numbers are any numbers that cannot be expressed as a fraction, a over b. Make sure you have the definition of irrational numbers in your notes. There are different types of decimals. We have repeating decimals, for example, 23/100 with a bar notation over the 2 and 3. That indicates that the 2 and the 3 continue to repeat in the decimal. Terminating decimals are decimals that stop. For example, 5,342 10,000ths. Then we have non-repeating and non-terminating decimals. Those are typically found with imperfect squares and imperfect cubes. How can I tell if a number is rational or irrational? Well, it's pretty simple with numbers 1 and 2. Number 1 is 7/22, which is a fraction, so it's rational. Number 2 is 4/5, which is a fraction, so it is also rational. I know that the square root of 2 is imperfect because there is not a number that I can multiply times itself to give me 2. So this is an irrational number. Remember, terminating and repeating decimals are rational, non-repeating, non-terminating decimals are irrational. So if we look at 9/20, that is a fraction, so we know that it is a rational number. The square root of 13 is an imperfect square. I cannot multiply a number times itself to give me the square root of 13, or give me 13, so it is an irrational number. The square root of 9 equals 3. 3 squared is 3 times 3, which equals 9. Since the square root of 9 is 3, meaning that it is a perfect square, it is a rational number. So how do I estimate the square root or cube root of imperfect squares or cubes? The first step is to find the two closest perfect squares or cubes. In the example shown on the board, we're going to look at the square root of 45. So the first thing I'm going to do is find a lower perfect square and a higher perfect square. I know the square root of 49 is 7, so that is a higher perfect square. and the lower perfect square would be 36. So the square root of 36 is less than the square root of 45, which is less than the square root of 49. The square root of 36 is 6, which is less than the square root of 45, which is less than the square root of 49, which is 7. So that means the square root of 45 is between 6 and 7. Next, we subtract the perfect squares or cubes. So we're going to subtract 49 minus 36. This is going to give us the denominator of our fraction. When we subtract 49 minus 36, we get 13. That 13 is going to be the denominator of our fraction, which is going to give us the decimal portion of our imperfect square. The third step is to subtract the lower perfect square or cube from the imperfect square or cube. So our imperfect square is 45 minus our lower perfect square, which is 36. 45 minus 36 is 9. This is the numerator of our fraction. In step 4, we're going to take our fraction, which is 9 over 13, and we're going to change it into a decimal. We're going to divide 13 into 9. It can't go, so we add our decimal 0. 13 divides into 90 6 times. 6 times 3 is 18. Carry our 1. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 is 7. We're going to subtract, and that's going to leave us with 12. We're going to continue because we want to round to the nearest 100 right now. So we're going to divide 13 into 120, and it goes 9 times. Times 3 is 27, and 9 plus 2 is 11. That leaves us with 3. We're going to stop here. So we have 69 hundredths. We're going to round that to the nearest tenth, which would be 7 tenths. Our final step is to use the lower perfect square, which is 6, in front of our decimal, which is 7 tenths. So the approximate square root of 45 is 6 and 7 tenths. Now we're going to find the approximate square root of 20. The first thing I need to do is find a perfect square lower than 20 and a perfect square higher than 20. My lower perfect square will be the square root of 16, which is 4. My higher perfect square will be the square root of 25, which is 5. This tells me that the square root of 20 is between 4 and 5. Now, we're going to subtract our perfect squares. 25 minus 16. This is going to leave us with 9, which will be your numerator. After we have decided what our numerator will be, we are going to subtract our lower perfect square from our imperfect square. So we're going to subtract 20 minus 16, which is 4. So I know that 4/9 is the decimal portion of my estimated or approximate square root of 20. I'm going to change 4/9 into a decimal by dividing. 9 divides into 40 4 times. 4 times 9 is 36, and we see that 4 repeats for this one. So the square root of 20 is about 4 4/10 with a bar notation over the 4. Now keep in mind, this is not exact. This is just an approximation or estimate. We can approximate the cube root of 20 just like we approximated the square root of 20. We're going to begin by finding 2 perfect cubes close to 20. Our higher perfect cube is going to be the cube root of 27. Our lower perfect cube is the cube root of 8. The cube root of 8 is 2. The cube root of 27 is 3. So the approximate cube root of 20 will be between 2 and 3 on a number line. We're going to find our fraction just like we did with our perfect or imperfect squares. So we're going to subtract our perfect cubes. This will give us our denominator. So we're going to subtract 27 minus 8. This is 19. So 19 is the denominator of our fraction. Now we're going to subtract our lower perfect cube from our imperfect cube. So 20 minus 8 is 12, and that's our numerator. So 12/19 is how far the cube root of is how far the cube root of 20 is from these two numbers. So we're going to divide 12 by 19. And that's going to round to 63/100. We take our lower perfect cube, that's our whole number. We're going to keep our 63/100. So the cube root of 20 is about 2 63/100. We can see that this is correct because 20 is 7 units from 27. And there's a bigger difference between 8 and 20. Those are 12 units apart. So since 20 is closer to 27, that means that 2 63/100 is the closest approximation for the cube root of 20. Pause the video and find the square root of 50 rounded to the nearest tenth. The two closest perfect squares to 50 are 49 and 64. The square root of 49 is 7. The square root of 64 is 8. So that means the square root of 50 is between 7 and 8. 64 minus 49 is 15. That is our denominator. 50 minus 49 is 1, which is our numerator. 1/15 is 6/100 repeating, which we can round to 7/100. Our question asks us to round to the nearest tenth. So the square root of 50 is approximately 7 1/10. Estimate the square root of 112 to the nearest tenth. Is the estimated value rational or irrational? The square root of 112 rounded to the nearest tenth should be about 10 6/10.